is something you can't forget, something that really terrible that happened. At the time I was young and working. I remember that night very vividly. I was on night duty, covering the hostel. Come back in the morning, see my brother was served and the child from the police force being put on a lorry, asking them, why are you taking him? Giving me. At that point, we were just assuming, this is government, Kenya government is there, it is slow. And that was now on a Friday morning. By Saturday, we do something terrible. What's happening? People were brought all the way from Modogashe, from Ibrahim, from Bute. The operations, the military came from, the ones who are in Mandera, some of them came from Moyale, and there was some big, then we knew something is not right. So we started asking. Nobody was answering. And a quite horrible thing happened. And by that Saturday evening, I think some people decided they couldn't tolerate, and they broke the fence. And some of them ran away. Machine gun was opened on them, just around the fence of the airstrip. And a few days later, we actually collected quite a number of dead bodies from there. But then on Sunday, we went there. And Alena Tonelli was at the who used to run the Tigum Manyata and the Catholic Rehabilitation Center. And again, very horrifying situation we found. People naked, pile of bodies, on one side. Somebody running to try to drink water from a water boozer and be bitten, like an animal. The things that we witnessed was actually very terrible. So you ask yourself, how could human beings do this to each other? And honestly, there could not be no justification. We went out, I think, on the Monday. They collected the dead bodies, and to them, they thought it was somewhere in the bush, but we personally saw them. We went there. They were buried. The ones remaining alive, they took them and dropped them in different routes. I remember very vividly, my brother, the one who was policeman, is the one who came. He dropped out of because the vehicle's lights were not on. He told another ex-policeman, hold my hand, and he jumped out of the vehicle. And he walked all the way naked, coming to the house and woke me up. I think that's how we went out to now collect the survivors and in different routes. My elder brother, the one I followed, not the policeman who brought me up, is missing up to today. You never saw the body. And I was sure, both of them, this was a policeman, this was a businessman, none of them was a shifter. So when officers tell you, we are going on operation, we are dealing with the guns, we are dealing with the bandits, a lot of thrash. When I watch Gaza, it really brings bad memories. When Israeli government says, Hamas is using these people as shield and continue to bomb hostels, and they want the world to believe, that. That's exactly what was happening. Those days there were no mobiles. The telecommunication was controlled. You couldn't call anybody, you couldn't talk to anybody, and they put them off. The only way we could send messages to even our MPs is to put somebody on a bus. And I remember we took one of our own staff, Abdullah said, wrote for him a letter to say that he's going for a seminar. He was still stopped in Garissa. And, we gave him some photos to bring to Nairobi so that people in Nairobi could believe. That's what Caliph then took to Parliament. It was that bad. And the deniers that were there, No, nothing happened, and when over 1,000 people died. Later, of course, we continued with the agitation for it. Of course, TJRC came. I'm happy that the new constitution has come. It's not that it is impossible to happen, but at least we have institutions now, like IPOA, the ones who, and we have a constitution that would protect, and anybody who does that, probably something will be done. But those days, under the old constitution, officers on the ground, whether they have powers from up or not, they concocted things that happened. The latest, which was, TJRC, we participated, we gave all the evidence, and the report was very clear. It was taken to Parliament. Both the Prime Minister and the 10th Parliament went to Wagalla, apologized. I think he went to and ordered that we build a secondary school in Wagalla Memorial, which was done by the Kenya government. He had also ordered we do a memorial library, which was never done, which we're still waiting for. And then I think the 11th Parliament, President Uhuru went to Parliament officially and apologized to all the atrocities that happened before. Wagalla, and mentioned Wagalla specifically, and said he would set aside resources for reparation. But that's where it ended again. So the cases are still in court. I know of 2 cases who are still in court that haven't moved. The cases had stopped because people were waiting for what TJRC will come up with. And people were happy with the TJRC report and the timelines which were given for people for government to implement. If that was done, that would have been it, But unfortunately, it is. Of course, one thing is not it, and that's for all Kenyans, that such a thing should never happen in our country. So anytime you hear there is some operation, somewhere, I'm asking all Kenyans to be vigilant. I'm also asking all officers not to take illegal orders. I'm happy these days it's very hard to take illegal orders because the institutions will catch up with you. IPOA will catch up with you. So, but even then, once in a while things can go wrong. Recommendation of TJRC is that the president goes to Parliament and apologizes on behalf of Kenyans to all the atrocities, and Wagalla is one of them. And he actually specifically did that. So that will stick. Then anything subsequently hasn't happened. All those were there. Many of them are dead anyway. The major in charge of the that operation died not quite later, horrible death. I'm told a number of them became mental because of the trauma that came from there. So I do know Jamundogo, who was in charge of the operation, actually died soon after, a few years later.